So far we discussed about the computer waste. Now let's talk about some computer related mistakes. The common causes are, what are the causes for that? Failure by user to follow proper procedures. For example, you are entering the data on PeopleSoft. So there is some rules. For example, I want to change the grade of the student in PeopleSoft. Okay, so there is a procedure for that. You have to take permission from your head of department, then dean, then there are steps, go to the PeopleSoft, go to which direction, that direction, and you will need some. So there is some guideline and procedure for that. So if I don't know, so I will do it in a wrong way. I will do the mistake. Unclear expectation and lack of feedback. So my expectations are not clear that this system would give me what kind of output. This system is meant for what? I don't know. And there is lack of feedback. The system is not giving me the feedback. Nobody is giving me the feedback. I'm doing right and wrong, what I'm perceiving this. So this is one of the reasons that I do not have enough information. So I will commit a mistakes. Program development that contains error. And during the development of the program, there are some errors in that. Obviously, that would give you the wrong output. Incorrect data entry by data entry administrators. The people who are responsible for data entry, either the computer operator or the administrator or the user, customer, or any official guy who can enter the correct data. So these are the common causes for computer related mistakes, and we are familiar with this. Now for these preventing the computer related waste and mistakes, we need some effective process. We need process to avoid computer waste and computer mistakes. So can you guess, guys, can you tell me some, how, if you are a manager, how you could manage the waste, computer waste as a manager? Tell me.
Come again, Doctor.
You are a manager and you have to manage the computer waste. What could you do?
Maybe use as minimum devices as we need, or upgrade from older devices, older technologies to newer ones.
So you need some rules, I guess. What would you do with the very first thing, with the first step? I mean, if your computer is working or not working, how would you know? You want to replace it? How would you do this?
Inspect first.
Yes. So you need to create a proper, I mean, it is not a one-time task. So there should be a process that every time if something happened, so there must be some rules and guidelines. So what to do with that? For example, in my office, my computer is not working. Now it is not working. It is a waste. So what is the policy for that? What should I do as an employee? So there must be some process. I should inform somebody. Somebody will come, it will take it, and it will inspect what's the problem in that, or it is possible to fix. If it is not possible to fix, then what to do with that?
Return to store.
Return to store. Who's responsible for the store? Okay, now it is go to the store, and the person who's responsible for the store, let's say we send it to the IT center. Now they are responsible. So what they would do with that? They will fix that one. They will destroy that one. What is the policy for that? So there must be some policies. You know, in government sector, you cannot destroy, you cannot throw anything without evidence. Good. For example, you have a folder, one folder. So you want to discard it. So you cannot throw it in the bin. You have to follow some procedure for that. That I am throwing it into the bin. You will take some signature. You will send it to somebody. So there is always be somebody responsible for that. Okay. So we need effective policies and procedures for computer-related waste and mistakes. So if I entered wrong data in PeopleSoft, wrong result, if I upload wrong result of the whole students of my course on the PeopleSoft and all students receive wrong grades, now what should we do? How could we fix this one? So there must be a procedure, there must be a policy. Okay, when this is notified that student observe that this is a wrong grade, all students are complaining. So I will check, okay, I uploaded a wrong file. Now, how could I upload it on the PeopleSoft again? So there must be a procedure, there must be a process. And there is a process for in our college. Are you getting my point, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so your policies must be established. As a manager, you have to establish this. You have to implement the policies. You have to monitor the policies, they are working fine or not. And in the end, reviewed. If it is not working fine, so you need to fix that one. So this is review. So what are these things? Let's discuss in detail. Establishing policies and procedures. Establish policies and procedures regarding efficient acquisition, use and disposal of systems and devices. I repeat again, establish policies and procedures regarding what? Efficient acquisition. What is acquisition? Anybody knows what is acquisition?
Maybe how technology is dissolved into something.
No, you are acquiring something. For example, I need 30 computers. I need 30 computers, and we pay and we can acquire that one. Facebook has acquired WhatsApp. Facebook has bought. So this is acquisition. I mean purchasing, you are buying, you are taking control of that thing. So whenever you are doing acquisition, for example, we need Apple computers for our lab. So we will pay the money and we will acquire Apple laptop. This is acquisition. You are purchasing new thing, something. Use, it's use, and disposal. Disposal is discarding. Okay? Dispose of. Get rid of. Okay, so we want to replace our old computers with Apple computers. So we want to dispose the old systems. So there must be policies for that. Identify most common types of computer related mistakes. For example, what kind of computer related mistakes can be occur? When you are entering the data, incorrect input is most common. Okay, you do not have information, the human errors mostly there. So to avoid these kind of things, training programs for individuals and work groups must be there. Okay, for example, I don't know what is the policy of wastage in my college. If my computer is not working, what should I do? So there must be a training, there must be a workshop by the college to explain what are the rules and regulations are available. So which unit is responsible for such kind of things. And also for the information system, many people don't know how to use the PeopleSoft. They need training whenever they are entering the data. Manuals and documents on how computer systems are to be maintained and used must be shared with all the faculty members. This is a very good thing. For example, how to take attendance, how to change the grade on PeopleSoft. People don't know this because this task is not very common. Change the grade. It happens one time, two time in 1 year. So people don't know the steps for that. So the manuals and documents are always very important to get an information. So this is also applies for the computer waste. If you want to dispose of your old computers or other stuff, so there must be some rules written in the form of documents. Approval of certain systems and applications before they are implemented and used. This is very important, especially in the government sector or in any organization. They usually, the approvals are very important. You cannot purchase, you cannot buy, you cannot dispose anything without approval. For example, we have in our college, there are some books, the old books are there and you do not have enough space, and the new books are there. So what to do with the old books? You want to throw it, you want to discard it, you want to give it to another library, you want to share it with the schools or whatever you want to do, but you need approval for that. There must be a policy, there must be established policy, and you need approval for discarding or disposal of those books. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So policies often focus on different things. Implementation of the source data automation. So if you have an automated, you need an input, your data is coming from some source. And if your source is automated, then it is good. It would help you in reducing the mistakes. So use of data editing to ensure data accuracy and completeness. Yes, you must ensure the data you are changing or entering is accurate and completeness. So your policy, actually, we are talking about the policies, what kind of policies and what benefit we can get from policies. So your policies must focus on these things. So is there any change occur in data? So data accuracy and completeness must be checked. So if you do not have this quality related policies, then the people can enter the wrong data and that will not be identified. Assignment of clear responsibility for data accuracy with each information within each information system. So who is responsible for data accuracy? There are some data must be entered by the faculty member. There are some data must be entered by the manager, must be entered by the dean. So who is responsible for this data accuracy, that must be clearly defined. So in the end, we can say that the data is not correct, so you are responsible, kindly fix that one. But your policies will do these things. Your policies will force the employees to do these quality related things so that we can minimize the mistakes. Is that clear?
Yes.
Doctor, can you repeat, please?
I mean, we're talking about policies here. Okay, policies that can avoid, that can find the mistakes, that can help in analyzing the mistakes and can avoid the circumstances that can compel the people to do mistakes. Okay, your policies must be strong. So very first thing is implementation of source data automation. So your data is coming from some source, some software, human employees, they are entering the data. So policies should focus that these data sources must be automated, because when it is automated, so it is very less chance for doing some mistakes. Like you are entering data, so if you have everything is automated, so your mistakes can be identified easily and you can fix that one easily. Use of data editing to ensure accuracy and completeness. So there must be a policy that you should check when the data is entered. After entering the data, you can check the completeness, data is entered complete data or accurate data. And who is responsible for data entry? Who is responsible for data accuracy? Who is responsible for what? So this must be clear. Okay, I am entering data as a faculty member, so I am responsible for the entry level. But there is also someone who can vet my data, who can analyze the data that I am entering is a complete data or incomplete data. So there are different responsibilities and people must be responsible for their task. Are you with me, guys?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, yes.
Some useful policies to minimize the waste and mistakes includes, so here let's say for example, changes to critical tables should be tightly controlled. All changes must be authorized and documented. Okay, on PeopleSoft, you know, there are many things that we cannot do, or we can do one time only. You know this? For example, we entered the attendance of the student. So after 1 week, we cannot change it, right? Are you with me, guys?
Yes, doctor. Right.
So this is actually, the part of policies. So we have policies that after 1 week, nobody can change that table because the table is very critical. This will give you some deep analysis. So changes to critical tables should be tightly controlled. All changes must be authorized and documented. Whenever there is a change occur, there must be an evidence. A user manual should be available that covers operating procedures. Yes, the manual was always very helpful for any information system. For example, the Blackboard is having a very rich features. And I don't know how to conduct exams. I don't know how to create multiple questions in that. So there must be a manual here, so I can go read the manual and I can do that. So this can be the part of your policy. Controls should exist to ensure that data input, HTML, URLs are valid, applicable, and posted in the right time frame. You can make policy to check to ensure all these things, HTML, URLs, they are written in the valid form or not. Whenever you write, the system or a person can check that it is written in the correct form. Training is very important for acceptance and implementation of the policies and procedures. Yes, whenever you are creating new policies, especially the big organization, they have many employees. For example, you create a policy that everybody what kind of policies, like exam policies. We have policy in exam that the student cannot cannot enter after 10 minutes, cannot go before 10 minutes, cannot bring the mobile phone and all this. So this is a part of policies, but you need to give a workshop or training to the employees first, and then you need to inform to the student as well, right? So this is how you usually implement the policies. The training is playing a key role. Whenever a new policy comes, you must inform, you must train your employees first. Okay, next we have monitoring policies. So once you establish a policy, then you implement your policy. So you also need to monitor the policy that it is working fine or not, to ensure that the user throughout and organizations are following established procedures. Monitor routine practices and take corrective action if necessary. So you need to, for example, exam policies. So you need to monitor that one. After each exam, you need to monitor. Do we need improvement? There is some problem. If there is problem, so we need to fix that one. Implement internal audits. Internally, you have to check. There are some policies from the university. There are some policies from the college only. Okay. So for college only, you can manage it internally, but you also need to align your policies with university level. So are you fulfilling the guidelines for the universities or not? So auditing is always very important. Auditing means you are following the guidelines or not. Exams are according to the guidelines or not. This is monitoring. Is that clear, guys? Are
Yes,
you in the
doctor.
call?
Yes,
Yes,
doctor.
yes, with you.
Yes.
Okay, the last step is review. So we have established a policy. Okay, for example, we can say that in establishing a policy for accreditation, department has decided that there must be 40% descriptive question in the final exam. So we establish it. This is a policy. Okay. Now the second step, you will implement these policies. You will inform all your employees, or you will give the training to the employees how to do that, what kind of rules what kind of guidelines you need to follow, and all the employees or faculty will create 40% of descriptive questions in the final exams. So this is implementation. Now monitor, you will conduct the internal monitor. You will check that all courses are following this policies or not. This is monitoring. Okay, before the approval of the final exams, you can monitor that one. And once it is implemented that, okay, all faculty members have created and the exam has been conducted. So next step is reviewing the policies. So in the end, what is it beneficial or not? Do we need to continue with this or not? Do we need to change it or not? To review existing policies and procedures and determine whether they are adequate, should ask questions like, do current policies cover existing practices adequately? Were any problems or opportunities uncovered during the monitoring? So is there any problems or opportunities, the policies that we made, like descriptive questions? For example, no students were able to give an answer in descriptive part. Or maybe the questions are too lengthy. Maybe the questions are very ambiguous. So these kind of any problems can be considered. We can find out and then we can fix that one. Does the organization plan any new activities in the future? If so, does it need new policies or procedures on who will handle them and what must be done? Are contingencies and disasters covered? If something happens, what is the next plan? Do you have a plan B? So there are different questions that you need to answer in reviewing the policies. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, so moving on, we have next topic is computer crime. So it is also very common nowadays. Computer crime is defined as the use of a computer to commit an illegal act. So by using computer, you do something which is not legal, which is against the ethical laws or the other laws, the country laws. So this definition includes the following, like targeting a computer while committing an offense. Offense means that you are doing something illegal action. Using a computer to commit an offense. So in first, you are targeting a computer. In other, you are using a computer to do some illegal action. And third one is using computer to support a criminal activity. So you're supporting the criminal activity despite the fact computers are not actually targeted. So what are these things? We'll discuss in detail here. So targeting a computer while committing an offense. So our target is computer. I want to hack your computer. In general terms, we use this terminology. Someone gains unauthorized entry to a computer system in order to cause damage to the system or to data it contains. So our target is to destroy the data. Our target is to fail the computer, to fail the hard disk or any program or any data. So how we could do this? We can simply get the access of that computer and try to damage that computer. This is one type of computer crime, like you do the hacking normally. Using a computer to commit an offense. Now we want to do something bad, but with the help of computer. Computer criminals may steal credit card numbers from websites or companies' database, skim money from bank accounts, or make unauthorized electronic fund transfer. This is very common, nowadays a lot of hacking going on like this, especially stolen money from credit card and from the bank transfer, even from the online banking. So what can you do? You can hack, you can steal the information here by using computer. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, Doctor.
In my university, when I was student, there was some group of students. They hacked the server, university server, and they stole the papers, final exam papers from the college. The 3-4 students were together. They were very good in these hacking kind of things. But in the end, they got captured by the administration because everything was on the network, and so you can keep the track of once thing appear on network, so you can track it easily. So this is one of the example of using a computer to commit any wrong action. So using computers to support a criminal activity, this is the third type, despite the fact that computers are not actually target. So you are using a computer to support a criminal activities like drug dealers, professional criminals may use computer to store records of their illegal transactions. In movies, I think you guys have noticed this thing of many drug dealers, or they are using some technology, their computers, they have a special password for their accounts, for their documents, all details about the money that, and they're transferring money from here to there. So these are different type of the crimes that usually we do. And then they have subcategories in details we will discuss later on. So computer crimes also includes identity theft, cyber terrorism, illegal access and use, and software piracy.
Doctor,
Yes,
can I ask you,
yes.
when they take the information from the university or the exams documents?
I think it's way back around 10 years before, when I was student there. So because at that time, it's a new technology, so very few people are working with that. Nobody with a great knowledge about these things. But they, and another example I would give you, there is one student in one university. He, he always, entered in the system in ERP, like the official system, where only the administrator or faculty can enter. He always entered and steal some information from there. So the administration come to know that they know that somebody is entering in that and they are stealing questions and answers or the information from there, but they were unable to find it. They knew that some student is doing this, and from where he is doing, nobody knows. So I remember there's one of my friend there working there, and he make one logic in computer. They update, they write a one program, short program, that if somebody log in into the computer from the college, and who will open this website, so his information will be stored and the message will be generated. So he wrote this piece of code. So that student, when entered in and login in the system, the message generated, and authorities came and they captured that student with that. But nowadays we have a very good, the secure policies and the updated softwares are working, so it's not easy to break through. But before 10, 15 years ago, there were a lot of loopholes in the systems. So, but anyhow, these kind of, crimes usually were happened. And the hacking of the website, I was working in Qasim. I was before working in Qasim. So there I made one website, and our website was hacked by the student. And they post some messages there, and the student was graduated. I graduated 2 years ago, but in the end, he got captured because of the network. You can trace and track the people. So these kind of things happen, and people do for a different purpose. They have different objectives, and that. Okay. We receive so many different type of calls. Somebody asking you, I'm calling from the bank, please tell me what is your password. Some when you are receiving emails, the spam emails, please click on this. So sometimes you receive an emails the same kind of your contacts, and they ask you to enter this information. So they actually try to get an information so that they can do some offense or kind of a negative action against you. Okay guys, I think we can take a break for 10 minutes and then we will continue. Is that okay? Okay guys, we can start now.
Okay.
Okay, so far we discussed about the computer waste, computer related mistakes, and how to create the policies for that, established policies, implementation policies, monitoring and review policies. And then we discuss about the computer crime, different type of computer crimes. So let's talk about these one by one. The identity theft. I think you guys are familiar with this identity theft. Imposter obtains personal identification information such as social security or driver's license numbers in order to impersonate someone else, to obtain credit, merchandise, and services in name of the victim, to have false credentials. You know the ID, for computer ID, we have the password ID for our emails, for our credit information, bank accounts, and many services in our daily life we are using, and we use the identity. It's a very important stuff. So this is one type of crime, identity theft, that you can theft this ID from a person. For example, you receive a wrong phone call. Did you receive any phone call asking for ID or some information?
Yes, many times.
So I know one doctor in our university, in other college.
Yes.
You know, he lost around 35,000 riyal. He received a call and he did not notice that the guy was telling him, I'm calling from the bank and yeah, we need this information and one-time password and all that. And he gave it without thinking about anything. And he was keep receiving the messages that the 5,000 has been withdrawn from your account, 10,000, 15,000. When the amount reaches to 35, then he come to know that this is something happening there. And then he stopped, he called the bank and he stopped everything from there. So this is very common nowadays. You know, in Pakistan, there was one bank who was attacked by the hackers sitting in Russia, and they steal the data, they steal the credit card information from Singapore, and they attack on Pakistan. So now you can imagine how big scenario is. People are sitting there, information is somewhere else, and location is somewhere else. Nowadays the security is a big challenge for all over the world. So identity theft is just that you try to steal the ID. Okay, the ID of credit card, the bank account, anything. So in that further we have two concepts here, social engineering and shoulder surfing. So social engineering is using social skills to get computer user to provide information to access an information system at its idea. The example I gave you about that guy who received a call is an example of social engineering. Okay, you receive an email that kindly fill this form, and in that form sometimes they ask for you information, some information which they can use to steal your ID. That's why we keep receiving email from the university, please update your account, change your password. Did you receive this? Guys, you used to receive this email from the university about security related?
Yes.
Yeah, always.
Change the password. So what is the reason? Because somebody, they most of the time they try to steal the identity, and that is called the social engineering. They use some social skills on social media. Maybe somebody is trying to get your information on websites, on network, in offices, in organization. So that is called social engineering, that people are interacting with you and try to get your information. And another type is shoulder surfing. Identity thief stands next to someone at a public office and watch as the person fills out personal information on the form. So person is sitting beside you and try to see your password. So that's why, when you are try to withdraw money from ATM, they mentioned there, please hide your passwords. Did you notice this?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the reason? Because somebody can see your password and can use it. And especially we need to take care in grocery stores, in all these things. So we used to enter our credit card information very frequently there. So try to hide and we have very small password, a 4-digit password. So there is a chance that somebody can see that one. Right? So did you understand this shoulder surfing?
Doctor, how do you use my account?
You can use, the hackers, they have different softwares on the network. Maybe they can find your credit card information. It's very easy to find the credit card number. Okay?
I know. What use an account? What's the benefit of my account?
I mean, they can steal money from your account.
No, in university.
Well, there are different means. Now, what is the objective of the person? We don't know. Maybe somebody want to get your personal information. You want to know about about, for example, your grade information, about your financial status, or maybe they want to steal or to change your grades. I mean, anything can. So, what is the objective? It depends on why he's trying. I mean, for faculty member, if somebody try, so what is the purpose? One purpose can be maybe you want to see the exam papers, want to steal the questions, right? This can be one objective. Or maybe if we think at a bigger level, so they maybe can want to steal the credit card information or bank accounts information, or maybe we have 100 of faculty members, 100 of thousands of students here, so maybe collectively they want to get the information. So there can be many purposes for that. Okay, it depends on circumstances, on a person, the guy who's trying to do this. Some criminals, they are working at small level, some are at city level, some are at country level. The countries are even, they are fighting with each other and they are doing these kind of things. Are you getting my point?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we are coming to that point. So next is cyber terrorism. Terrorist, another big problem issue that the world is facing nowadays. Someone who intimidates a government or organization to advance his or her political or social objectives by launching computer-based attacks against computers, networks, information stored on them. Attackers usually aim at critical infrastructure, telecommunication, energy, water systems, emergency. So there can be nowadays, the terrorist attack not only on the people, but also on the system. System are more important nowadays. Okay, just imagine if somebody hack your satellite system. like China and USA, they have their own satellite systems. If one country hacks other systems, so what would happen? How much loss the country can get? They can jam all your communications, they can jam your internet. And imagine if there is no internet in the country. So these kind of activities are also very common nowadays. Few years back, the Aramco website was attacked. Did you remember anybody? Anybody knows?
Yeah, I think before 1 year or 2 years.
Yeah, so these kind of attacks usually occurred in every country. Sometimes by from the the enemy countries, or from some group or some people who want some specific information. I mean, the water system. Somebody can hack your water system. It's very common. Chinese and USA, they used to destroy their websites. They're fighting on. It's going on there. But this is kind of a terrorist activity, so it means this activity will harm the people. Okay, on internet. For example, your water system, your electricity down. They hack the system and they shut down the electricity of whole city. So the people would be affected a lot in terms of money, in terms of the social kind of things. Everything would be affected. So this is cyber terrorism. Next, we can talk about the cyber war. Now, war between usually two countries refers to an organized attempt by a country's military to disrupt or destroy the information and communication system of another country. The goal is to turn the balance of the power through information and knowledge. It's one's favor in order to enhance one's capability while diminishing those of an opponent. So two countries are fighting with each other. So this is the rule of the war, that you must bring down the communication of your enemy. If you got success in that, this would be really helpful for that. I mean, the communication is a key nowadays. So without data, without information, without communication, you are nothing. So in cyber war, usually militaries, when they attack to other countries, they try to destroy the communication, the satellite, the internet, the telephonic communication, all type of communication, the satellite communications can destroy. So the mainly reason is the balance of the power. So one country is try to control the other countries, or they want to be in the equal level. For example, one country can attack on the defense website, defense ministry. They can destroy all the information about the missiles, the aeroplane, these kind of information usually we have on the information system. So they try to disconnect or destroy the websites to destroy the data. And then we have illegal access and use. The criminal hacker. The criminal hacker, also called a cracker, is the person who attempts to gain unauthorized or illegal access to the computer system. The normal hacker, all of you know, I guess, who just entered into the system. Catching and convicting criminal hackers is a difficult task. You cannot catch him very easily, but you can, because anything on network can be traceable. The method behind their crimes are hard to determine, even if methods were known. Tracking down criminal hackers can take a lot of time, because it can go through in your system and can become a part of your system. So it's very difficult to find out him. But it is not impossible. It can be possible. Like in movies, you guys have seen, if they try to unlock the room, sometimes they want to steal a diamond from a room, they want to steal some money or gold. So they usually, one guy is working as a criminal hacker, and they connect with the system and try to unlock all the things using the same system. So especially in James Bond movies, if you see, so these kind of criminal hackers are very common in those movies. So we have some different type of the viruses and stuff like malware. Malware is short for malicious software. I mean, there is some problem in the software. It's a software program that destroy or damage processing of a computer system. So usually, sometimes you notice that your computer is very slow because of some specific file, and actually that is malware that making the speed of the computer slow, or maybe it fills out the memory. You have no space. It shows you that you have no space in the memory. Virus program file capable of attaching to disk or other files and replicated itself repeatedly without user's knowledge or permission. So virus can can create copies repeatedly very fast, and your system was unable to recognize it. So viruses are most often spread through malicious email attachment. Sometimes we receive it from email. The sharing of removal media, USB. Sometimes the virus comes from USB. File downloads from malicious websites, and you download something from the website. So these are the sources of viruses. So here you can see the hacker create a virus and attaches it to the real program or file. So this is a hacker at number 1 point, and it attached on the web server, and the user is downloaded it from the server. So it will receive a virus here, and then once downloaded, it infects other files, the programs on the machine, and whenever it share with other one, sending an email or sharing a file with others, USB, the other, and then goes on. Just like you can see the COVID-19. It's spreading with one to another, and same like this. It is also a virus, right? COVID-19. So in computer virus, it's created in the same way, spreaded in the same way. Okay, so we have some other types, like we have worm. It is a variation of virus that is targeted at networks. So worm usually targeted to the networks. It is a computer program, can create copies of itself, infected computer, or send copies to other computers via network without the need for an infected host file. So it doesn't need any host file to be shared. It will do the task by its own. It's a kind of a virus. It will be spread over the network. Trojan horse is a very famous term. I guess in many movies, these are the Trojan horse used. It is actually a history when one, a very historic fight, and one of them used this Trojan horse. It looks like horse, and you don't know what is inside, and it will harm you. Program that appears to be useful but purposefully does something user does not expect. Unlike viruses, Trojan horses typically do not replicate themselves but can do damage. Okay, so they are not creating the copies. So, but they can do damage a lot. Some files that it appears that these files are useful, but actually these are the Trojan horse. This is a trap. Logic bomb type of a Trojan horse that execute when specific conditions occur. For example, if the date changes to 2020 to 2021, so something that can damage your computer. It's a logic bomb. It's a time bomb. Like something happened, then it will appear. Are you with me, guys?
Yes, Dr.
Okay, so next we have variant. Variant, as its name shows, the modified version of a virus that is produced by virus author or another person. So nowadays you can see there are many variant are coming. There is one virus, but there are different types of the same virus. Maybe somebody changed that one, it's updated. That's why you also need antivirus and updated antivirus. Because if your antivirus is not updated, so new variant of virus cannot be detected by that. So another type is ransomware. It's just like somebody can hack your computer and will ask you, okay, give me 1,000 real, then I will give you your password back. I mean, they hack your system. And then they put some conditions or asking for money or some benefit for that. So program that holds a user computer hostage. It's kind of hostage, ransom, asking for money by locking or taking control of the user's computer or encrypting files or documents. Once infected, the checker or hacker actually demand a ransom to be paid by a certain deadline in order to unlock the computers or decrypt files. But whenever you are facing such kind of ransomware, you do not need to give money or you do not need to answer them. Otherwise, you will send money, they will ask you for more money, and it will not going to end. So in short, you can have the backup files, ensure that. So if you have the backup files, so you can simply disconnect with them or try to destroy them. So paying the ransom does not guarantee getting access to the files again. So having backup is the best safeguard against ransom. Okay? Did you get this, guys?
Yes, Dr.
So these are the different types of viruses and the malwares. So next is the antivirus program. So we will discuss this in the next class. Is that okay, guys?
Okay.
Okay. So these 14, 15 slides we'll discuss in the next class. So I will take, you do not have any question or anything you want to ask?